Okay, moving on, we'll move now to agenda item number 2 on the agenda today, which is confirmation of the council minutes from the meeting held on the 11th of December. And I'll firstly ask, are there any amendments before I call for a mover for these minutes, please? They take you through to 2-9. If there's no amendments or alterations, I'll ask the mover and the seconder, please. Amendment?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, there's your worship, one amendment, page 2-5, the AC bars, stage 2. There was a note of a consent resolution 5118. I'd like it to be noted that it was only the provision of the part translucent roof that consent related to, not the uplift changing.
So you want to take some wording out of the resolution?
I want to add that the consent was in relation to the second part of the resolution, which was the provision of the part translucent roof.
I'm not clear here. We've got a resolution moved by Councillor Hempson and Councillor Craig. I don't think we can go changing resolutions at this stage, unless they're perfectly interest. I've been on this, so I did come to requested to dissent to resolution 518, but we recorded.
Yeah, at the time
only pertaining to number 2.
Yeah, at the time I did make it clear that I supported the changing room.
So as an amendment, this only refers to number 2, resolution 2. Is that okay?
Oh no, the provision of the part translucent roof was the part that I requested my dissent be noted.
So the part that's underlined, the provision of a part translucent roof, is the only part that you dissent to.
Yeah.
Right. But we have some clarity around that. Councillor Nicholas requested her dissent to resolution 5118 to be recorded with regard to the provision of a part translucent roof. Any further amendments? I ask for a mover and a second, please. Councillor Hickman, second Councillor Williams. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Now, any matters arising? Councillor Hickman. No?
We might forget matters arising.
Yeah, we're here.
Your worship, item 10, resolution 5417, 3. That the legal advice be confirming the status of the safeways. Has there been any movement on that at all?
I've not received any to circulators yet, so I'll follow that up with Brock.
And I have not been presented with any licence documentation for signature. Sorry?
Yes, still a check. Okay.
Still change? In progress?
And also item 11.
Please license to occupy.
Yes, we required a report on the screens that we purchased some 50 years ago.
That report's been unavoidably delayed. Will report to you later in the meeting just with regards to the reason for that.
Okay. Any further items arising on those minutes? Okay. Being none, we will move now to the, now some of these minutes have only just had tabled or received today. So it's the unconfirmed minutes of the Taupo Airport Authority, the Emergency Management Committee, Turangi-Tongariro Community Board and Taupo Airport Authority Committee because we had 2. But the first one will be confirmed now. Our first one, 6th December, will be confirmed now. So, any questions and discussions on these minutes before I move into any movers or anything like that? Starting with Taupo Airport Committee, which is actually in your agenda. Councillor Johnson, do you want to report on anything on Taupo Airport Committee? Your fellow councillors?
I think we've again doing a good job to stay in the cash profit in difficult times. It's been quite tough for the skydive. There's lack of patronage, but the airport is trading as best it can. All the sites are full. We're looking at identifying other areas where we can get some more revenue outside of landing charges. We're doing a review on that. That's work in progress. So it's a positive outcome for a small town to have such a vibrant little airport.
Any questions on that, Councillor Williams?
Oh, just two questions. The first one, just a background on that further area that's being cleared to the south of where the registered camper vans are, the area where there's been some significant earthquakes, just a clarification.
That was identified by the airport manager to be a site that looked unattractive, and wandering through and was found it was just a blackberry and vegetation, and he had the opportunity to hire on an hourly rate a bulldozer. So he got in there proactively and cleared the site, which gave us the ability to keep it in a better. So it's more for presentation and the ability now for any potential person to come and have a look at the site rather than be scared off by it.
So I guess it might have been quite a fire hazard as well, but I was wondering if the registered motorhomes might have standing there.
They do, and they are, and negotiations are in progress.
And the second one was, well, it's actually in the confidential section, I guess. I wonder if we could have a briefing on that item.
Well, just a time to just give me a heading. The resolution was regarding a health or safety of members of the public, so I just wondered if we could get a briefing either now or under the confidence section of this meeting.
That's only the reason why the resolution is I don't know what the
The Taupo Airport Operational Safety Committee meeting minutes are always kept in confidential, and they are kept in confidence in our minutes. Any matters, if they needed to be released, would be, but they're matters of safety of aircraft movements, any transgressions may or may not have happened. For argument's sake, I'll just dream up an example, and it is a dream. Maybe an aeroplane and a glider got too close to each other. It gets reported, it gets investigated to see if there's procedures that could be adopted by the airport that would make the movements more safer. So rather than anything like that go out to the media and have the media have a headline that a glider and an aeroplane almost crashed, which is not true, and get be detrimental to our airport, it's kept in confidence. So if you want to know anything in particular, feel free to ask Councillor Johnson or myself at any time. Councillor Henderson.
Yeah, just a matter arising out of the minutes. Previously, the airport committee has made a decision, which I understand under the delegations they can, to use the land next to the airport as a free motorhome park. Given that the matter is relatively controversial in the district, and given that council would therefore be expanding their business, which competes directly with paying operators and private businesses in the area, I would like a request to be put in the minutes to the Taupo Airport Authority Committee that any decisions on expanding council's commercial activity on that land be brought back and discussed by council prior to the Airport Authority Committee making that decision.
Well, I don't think you can do that because the Airport Authority has its delegations or operates under its delegations, and you elect members onto that to make the decisions for you, because otherwise you might as well run the airport from there rather than a separate committee.
That's correct, but I'm making a request.
I understand. I hear your request, and I've just told you I'll put your request to the committee, and if you could remind us that Councillor Johnson, and we could ask the chairperson, which is me, after the committee have considered the request, we'll give Councillor Henderson an answer. Okay. Moving on. The next minutes we're looking at, we've been handed out. I personally haven't had time to read them yet. Emergency Management Committee. Any matters arising or discussions therein? Turangi-Tongariro Community Board. Councillor Kepper, as Chair.
There's nothing in particular to mention, except perhaps we've turned the soil for the start of the new revitalisation program yesterday, and things will be taking place in the next few weeks.
Anybody have any questions for the TT Board of Clarification? Being none, again, another Taupo Airport Authority Committee meeting, which would have confirmed the original minutes. Any matters arising from those? I'll now put the motion. Mover, please, for that group of minutes. Councillor Johnson, seconded. Councillor Kepper, all those in favour? Carried. Against? Moving now to agenda item number 4. Lakefront Reserve licences have come up and need to be ratified again, and I think that Ms. Lawley. This is fairly, to me, this is a fairly mechanical situation. Does anybody want to ask questions of Ms. Lawley, or Ms. Lawley, do you want to extrapolate on anything?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, it's a very straightforward situation, really. The current licences have been in place for 5 years. They expire in April, and the way they've been structured, the licensee doesn't have a right of renewal as such. They have an optional 5-year renewal at council's discretion. So we're really just asking council to make a decision: do they want the current licensees to have another 5-year term?
So this is the parasailing, gelateria, and the coffee shop.
Not the coffee shop.
Oh, what have we got? 3?
There's just 2.
Oh, just the 2.
The Steam and Bean licence expires later in the year, I believe.
Yes, it must be due, because I remember we did it about 5 years ago, so it's coming up. So, unless somebody has anything derogatory to say about it, I can't see a problem here. Do I have a mover?
I'll move the suggested resolution, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hickling, and a second, please. Councillor Johnson, all those in favour? Moved. Against? Carried. Thank you very much. Moving now to agenda item number 5. An easement. Are you doing this too, Ms. Lawley?
Yes, this one's mine as well. Again, this is a fairly straightforward situation. We have a funny little piece of plantation reserve on Arrowsmith Avenue. You wouldn't even know it was a reserve. It's just a little odd bit of road widening where there's a transformer and a bit of off-street parking and some shrubs. Unison want to, that's it there, yeah, Unison want to replace the transformer, but they also want some security over their equipment and their right of access to the equipment. Because it's not street, they don't have that as a right. They need council permission for an easement across the local purpose reserve. So we're really just asking for council permission. Now I think that it is, because this is under section 48 of the Reserves Act, we don't need to publicly consult because the reserve is not likely to be materially altered or permanently damaged, and the rights of the public in respect of the reserve are not likely to be permanently affected. That's because the equipment's really just replacing like for like, and it's not going to be any more of what's there than there is now. But the Minister of Conservation will need to be requested for consent to this because we don't have the delegated authority to do it ourselves.
Hence we make a recommendation, not a resolution.
It will be subject to the Minister's consent. It will be a resolution, but subject to the Minister's consent.
So, any councillors have any concern? There being none, do you move a recommendation or just adopt the recommendation? So we need to resolve. We need to change. We need to put this into, cross out the word recommendation, put the word resolution, and then we need to add to the end of subject to the consent of
the Minister of Conservation.
Are you happy with that, Tim? Very good.
Could I just make a comment? Yeah. Alison, is there any opportunity to see whether they'll maintain that site for the agreement? Because it must be a burden on the council to maintain that area. And I just think we're giving them an easement. Is there any opportunity to negotiate the maintenance of the site for that little plantation reserve?
They would be maintaining their equipment.
Yeah, but
we're talking about the grass.
I'm talking about the shrubs and that around them.
Well, Councillor Hickling, from governance talking to management, are you suggesting that you'd like to change this resolution to be subject to them maintaining the surround?
No, I'm not suggesting that. I've just wondered whether there was any negotiation to see whether there's a possibility of them maintaining it.
Do we really want a power company looking after our gardens?
If it's for free. If it's for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we really trust them to do a good job?
Well, probably not a very good job at the moment being done. So.
If it's part of an agreement, we could always have our gardeners do it and invoice them. Councillor Hickling is trying to say to you, he's governance and he's trying to find the best win-win he can for the ratepayers of this district. So I would really like you to take heed of it and say to them that council would be very desirous of you maintaining the ground around these pieces of machinery.
Yeah.
Would you have that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just an opportunity.
Good. Fine. So that recommendation I'll have Councillor Hickling move with that minuted amendment, with that minuted extra. Seconder, please. Seconded. Councillor Truman, all those in favour? Aye, carried. Okay, item number 6 is watertight financial assistance package payment plan. Approval claim number 06656 under the rules and regulations as agreed by central government some time ago. Who's going to speak to this agreement?
So, Mr Mayor, the councillors will remember that you entered into the financial assistance package earlier this year or late last year. This is the first of those claims that's come through. It's obviously council, or the way that the system works, is the landowner pays, or homeowner pays 50%, council pays 25%, and the government pays the remaining 25%. It's basically a process which is designed to keep homeowners out of court and the money going to fixing the problem rather than for lawyers. Council's component of that is a little over $18,000. That should be plus GST in that resolution, just a little note there. So this is seeking the approval to spend that 18,000 plus GST, 18,141.14 plus GST of unbudgeted expenditure.
Okay, any questions? Again, Councillor Kipper.
Not specifically about this claim, but future claims. Obviously, we're going to have to budget. So, we got anything in the long term or annual plan considered?
No, we don't budget. We've made a conscious decision in the long-term plan not to budget for these claims, walk around normal legal claims, simply because we don't know the quantum of them going into the end of the year. I think at last count, at the current time, we've got about 5 of these in the system at the moment, but there will be some years to go until the rest will come up. There's 20, the homeowners have 10 years from the time of CCC, the provision certificate. So there could be some more out there, and there's likely to be some more. I guess the problem with budgeting, to answer the question, is that you don't know the idea of the scale. So the way that we treat the fees and any legal proceedings is to go unbudgeted as they were.
So Gareth, is this the total cost to the council, or did we have to pay some legal fees or investigation fees or?
Other than staff time, this is the total cost of council. The reporting is done by part of the building.
Okay, nothing further? Okay, there's a recommendation of resolution again? Should be resolving, shouldn't it? Okay, we'll change that to resolution. That council approved 18,131 40% of unbudgeted expenditure as its 25% share of the remedial work associated with the weather tightness defects on the property at 31 Carter Street. I just want to put in, plus GST, I just want to note how interesting this weather tightness is. Successive government legislation leads to the Building Act, which our building inspectors worked under at this time. And when they've done this financial package, the government get the homeowner to pay 50%, they get the council to pay 25%, and they themselves pay 25%. But they collect the 15% GST, so their share is 10%. Do I have a mover? Seconder? Move, Councillor